Now, y'all know I wasn't going to just drop all that heat at once. Canelo's on fire. Roll the intro. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, before I jump right into it, May 4th is going down. Canelo Alvarez versus Daniel, the Miracle Man Jacobs. Great fight, people. Great fight. Unification at middleweight. Both of these guys are stepping up in a major way. You know, I got to tell you guys, if you want to get Box Fan Expo tickets, link is in the description. I am an affiliate. It helps the channel out. It'll be in Las Vegas. So if you're watching the fight, Canelo versus Jacobs on DAZN, May 4th, it's the same day before the fight start, and it's in Las Vegas. Great time. Ton of fighters confirmed to be there. Guys like Errol Spence, who just won, Mikey Garcia, you know, so they'll probably get some pictures together. A ton of people. You don't want to miss it. A ton of boxing fans. You can get merchandise from the fighters, sometimes pictures. I met Tommy Hearns there last time I went, and it's just a great time. Now, you guys seen the clip. Canelo's punches sounded like gunshots out here. He's in shape. This excites me. You know, all we can ask as fans is the fighters to do what they're supposed to be doing. I like the fact that Canelo and Jacobs, you know, it's a little bit different than, I want to say, Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, because Mikey Garcia's camp, they seemed uncharacteristic. Canelo he seems in line with what he always did. For example, what I mean is Mikey Garcia, you know, he started off camp 5 weeks at Snack, and he was trying something new, and it was highly publicized. And you've seen a more talkative Garcia camp in terms of, you know, they went from saying that we feel we're not ready for, in terms of Robert Garcia and his pops. They said, you know, we don't really want to fight Errol Spence right now. That's not a good fight for Mikey right away. Till Mikey convinced him and the fight was made. And then they went to saying, like, you know, Mikey's stronger and the Snack thing. It was just like highly publicized. In boxing, the less you hear, usually the better. And that not only works for like training camps, but also with negotiations. You know, the fights like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, where every day you look in, there's a headline about where the negotiations are at, and arguments over phone calls and conversations and meetings not set up, and he wants this percentage split. That's not how you really negotiate. And usually, from what I've seen, my experience in boxing is those are the negotiations that the fight don't happen straight away or doesn't happen easily and stuff like that. Same thing with training camps. Usually when the fighter's just in camp mode and they come out and then you see pictures of them, they're just in crazy shape or got a mangy, like, grizzly beard and stuff like that, that's a good camp. Or, you know, just when camps are doing what they've always done. And here, I think that's an example. Canelo, he's no stranger to, you know, giving people a quick glimpse into his camp. He has his own gym, and they've done this in the past for Golovkin fights and stuff like that. So I'm not really seeing anything uncharacteristic here. So those are like kind of my criteria. So to me, from the outside looking in, I'm not in camp with Canelo, you know, haven't been there or anything, but it appears that camp is going well. He looks in shape and looks like he's hitting hard. He clearly has fast hands, and he's just a good fighter. Coming off I think Rocky Fielding was a good fight to lead into as a precursor. Rocky Fielding is a guy who, I don't personally rate. He has the frame, but I don't rate him like a Jacobs. I think Jacobs is more skilled and seasoned, even though he's at 160 as opposed to 168. I do believe that. But I think it's a good precursor, smart move from Canelo. Take an easier fight where you can just build confidence and play around with things you worked in camp, because Jacobs is not a guy you can take lightly, underestimate, play around, or try new moves and sequences and shit that you learned in camp. You're going to have to be on your P's and Q's, because Jacobs is a terrific fighter himself, right? So beating up on Rocky Fielding, it was a one-sided massacre. Plus, he set history for a Mexican fighter to conquer those particular weight classes. So, and he made some good money, I'm sure, with DAZN. So all in all, it worked out for Canelo fighting Rocky Fielding. He also got the experience a couple rounds in fighting somebody who's bigger than him, taller than him. Not that it's his first time, but it's great that it happened right. That you went from a 6'3" guy to probably a guy who's 6'1.5", 6'2" in Jacobs. That kind of makes sense. Floyd Mayweather, this is a tactic that I've seen him implore, where if he's looking for a difficult fight in the future, then he'll take kind of a difficult fight that maybe is not as difficult, or just similar type of experience. And I think that was illustrated when he fought Robert Guerrero right before Canelo. He knew the Canelo fight was kind of looming, so he took on another Mexican-American fighter, Robert Guerrero, southpaw, kind of rugged, and then Canelo would be like more souped up and I'm not saying Guerrero fights exactly like Canelo, but it helps you prepare, and it helps you prepare against, instead of going straight into, you get what I'm saying, into the more difficult fight, you get the rounds in, you practice things, make sure everything, see if your hands are feeling good, stuff like that. Also, in Floyd, when he fought Marcos Maidana, he fought Maidana twice, an awkward guy with chopping power, weird rhythms and, just stuff like that. Awkward punches coming from angles, rough and rugged, strong guy. Then he fought Pacquiao next. So that's a good formula for these fighters. More people should do it instead of like Broner, for example. Adrian, AB, algebra books, alien babies. Broner went from 135 fighting Gavin Reese to moving up 2 weight classes in one fell swoop to fight a light puncher in Paulie Malignaggi, who was a champion at the time. He became champion, beating Paulie via, I think it was a split decision. And you went from a smaller, lighter puncher, someone doesn't have that many recent knockouts and stuff like that, somebody who had been stopped by Khan and Ricky Hatton and stuff, and you got a title off Paulie. You go from that level of punching power to fucking Maidana. That's different, because Marcos Maidana, at that time, he was probably one of the top 3 punchers in the division. So, that really wasn't necessarily a smart move to go from a light puncher versus if you faced, someone similar to Maidana, like a Jose Cito Lopez, who's at least rugged, trains in similar gyms like Robert Garcia's gym and stuff like that. So he bounced around Goosen, Robert Garcia gym, things like that. So maybe he has similar training and somewhat quasi-similar style, So that's just my theory. I think Canelo made a smart move fighting Rocky Fielding because, again, it adjusts you to punching upwards and fighting a taller guy and not being, intimidated. Not that Canelo's been fighting since he was 15, so I don't think he's intimidated like that. But you get what I'm saying. It just prepares you for the experience of fighting someone who's more elite, more at the moment, more ready and seasoned at a professional level. Rocky Fielding, that was a good precursor in my opinion. But I like what I'm seeing from Canelo. In shape, looks like he's punching hard. Canelo's really a student of the game. I've watched his career ever since he's been in America. Even the Jose Miguel Cotto fighting, smaller fights at, Matthew Hatton, Ryan Rhodes, and I've seen all those fights. Alfonso Gomez, I remember watching him, me and my pops, watching Canelo when he was on Mayweather undercards. Now he's his own man. Now he's, kind of taken over for Mayweather since he's not really an active fighter himself. He just kind of peeks his head in. So it's cool to see the experience and the growth from Canelo. He's always struck me as someone who's very mature for his age, or mature as some people say. He doesn't really do a bunch of trash talking, things like that. He learned from the Mayweather loss, picked up some moves from Mayweather. I've seen him in fights like the Cotto fight, just certain sequences and fighting off the ropes versus Golovkin. I see, like, he's just a student of the game, practice his art and his craft, and I respect him for that. Daniel Jacobs, that's my guy. Brownsville never ran, never will. He earned it the hard way. Daniel Jacobs is a guy you just can't tell no to. Beat cancer, got stopped early in his career. Some guys don't know how to bounce back. And some guys, I'm not even going to say a bunch of names, but some guys take an early loss and they don't seem the same ever against. This man became a champion again twice since losing to Dimitri Perot. He had a WBA version of the belt where he fought Golovkin to consolidate it because Golovkin was a super champion. I was at that fight, and I thought that he did enough to win. It was a close fight, good fight, but I edged it to Jacobs, even with the knockdown, And then after that, he fought, Golovkin was undefeated at the time. He fought 3 more undefeated fighters in a row. Arias, Zaleski, who might fight Demetrius Andrade on a Triple G card. And then he fought a guy that Triple G was supposed to fight, but got stripped of the IBF title for not fighting, Sergey Derevyanchenko, who happened to be his friend and former gym buddy, gym mate, stable mate, whatever you want to call it. So, and he became a champion again by beating a tough Derevyanchenko, even knocking him down in 1 round. So this is a really good fight. The implications are huge. News broke today. I did a video earlier where Triple G, they're rumoring and saying that with Brandon Adams likely to face Jermall Charlo on Showtime, Triple G might fight Hassan N'Dam. That's crazy because Triple G is saying that he beat Canelo and was robbed, yet Canelo is already facing, like, a guy who arguably beat Triple G in a high-class, high-caliber opponent, and Triple G claiming robbery and Mexican style and I fight for the fans and things like that. And I don't think that Hassan N'Dam stuff really brings much to the table for DAZN. I don't think people are going to be, leaping out to get tickets and leaping out, paying $20 a month for that. Canelo Jacobs, however, will attract people to the platform, at least for that particular month, because Canelo is a certified star, and it's just a much better fight with Jacobs, and I strongly believe the matchup is king in this modern age of boxing. We don't know how many people can be pay-per-view stars and this and that. DAZN saying pay-per-view is dead, but matchup is king. If it's a good matchup, if there's a threat level there, if the guys know the 2 fighters, then typically those matches do better. Plus, the benefit is Canelo on his own, no matter who he's fighting, he did like 51,000 people at Jerry's World fighting Liam Smith from the UK, who wasn't a heralded name. So we know Canelo has star power. So the better the fight he's in, the better it generally does anyway. If there's some kind of perceived threat, where people can bet. Some people were picking Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That's why the fight did over $1 million. Some people did pick Miguel Cotto to possibly beat him. You had the Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry. So Canelo, true star in boxing and a true student of the game, discipline. Cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait for this fight May 4th. Get your Box Fan Expo tickets below. If you like what I'm doing here, consider subscribing if you're new. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think of Canelo. And I'll be back with some more heat. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.